Hi folks, this is Danny at Bradley James Classics, and today's modern classic, is actually a part exchange trading car that we are selling for somebody else to enjoy, drive absolutely as is, or fix up accordingly, and obviously it's priced accordingly. Now the reason this one is worth investing some TLC into is that it's actually a E39 525i. It looks to have some rather nice alloy wheels here, those nice deep cut M10 wheels, which are pretty fabulous, and it's actually a pretty decent set of tyres that I've noticed. And the real reason you'll probably want to stick with this one is that when I show you the paperwork file, this car has been well loved by its previous owner, who has lavished a lot of money on repair and maintenance. Now, the bodywork is not going to win any prizes. However, if you are happy to drive the car as is, then you'll appreciate it as is, or if you want to really do it up, of course you can. Now, it has just been washed, so don't let that fool you. It is relatively straight car with a couple of bodywork issues, which I'm going to point out. Now, the first thing, let's start on this Bridgestone front tyre. As you can see, probably a little bit too much alloy wheel cleaner has destroyed the surface of the rim, whereas the middle of the tyre is in pretty good order. This front wing, it looks to be pretty good, as does the driver's door, as does the passenger door, and does the rear panel. Get down and we'll see that there's a bit of a scrape here, similar to the condition for these rear rims as well. As I look at the back panel, this is quite usual. Corrosion around the door lock always happens, and then quite nasty sound chips. But again, a nice little extra on a M sport car, I guess. A little bit of a scratch in the back. The rest of the bumper looks okay. I've noticed there's parking sensors. For some reason, this alloy wheel seems to have survived quite well, but if I get in close, I can see the beginnings of a bit of grizzling getting into the arch. That would need to be attended to if you're looking to return this car to excellent order. And then the worst bit of bodywork is this little scuff, little dent in the near side passenger rear door. The passenger front door, there's some parking marks, otherwise pretty decent, and the front wing looks to be corrosion free and straight, and the bonnet looks to be pretty decent too, as does the rest of this front bumper. Glass, I can't see any damage. No sunroof, which isn't a bad thing. Let's have a little look inside. Essentially locking, door locked. Now let's have a look. Oh, it's a lot warmer in here than it is outside. We've got cloth trim. We have a aftermarket stereo. It is an Alpine, and it is a CD player. But the reason this is so large is that BMW used to fit a fairly sizable unit, and in this era, it could well have been a cassette player, a radio, and probably a CD changer in the boot. Whereas what's happened here, this is an aftermarket panel with a standard radio in, air conditioning in this model. I'm not entirely sure if it works, but it is fitted. These are cup holders, and you can always see they get wedged here because they have a tendency for the springs to go, so I'm assuming that's what's happened here. Oh, the big news, how could I not mention this? This is another reason you'll probably want to buy it. It's a manual. So yes, a manual 6-cylinder E39. It's all good news. The carpet mats from BMW, door cards look pretty good, the seats look to be in good order. Headlining is respectable too. That very noticeable, typical BMW multi-function steering wheel. And yeah, these were a fantastic driving car. I mean, the E39 was just, well, it was epic. It used to eat up the miles. Used to see a lot of them on the road back in the day. They're a little scarcer now, but people like to keep hold of them. This one's covered 145,000 miles. And actually, I just looked at the last MOT certificate. To my surprise, it didn't have one single advisory. Now, this is probably why, because the car itself does come with well, 2 keys, which is always a good sign. Here's the here's the dealer folder, which I'm going to try and prise out of my folder. Let's take that wodge of MOTs out first. And then I can sort of show you in here, we've got what looks to be a full set of books, and that one looks like a service book. And I'm pretty sure that this was all serviced by BMW. Oh no, do you know what? It's been stamped up by Westech, which is a local BMW and Mini specialist, very well respected actually. And if I just show you here, 122, 130, 133, and then 2020, 140. So it was, it had this service done 5,000 miles ago, but also happened to be 4 years ago, because this car started to fall out of use. It was popped away in the garage. But it is nice to see a well stamped up service book. Not always the way with a BMW, and it does actually give a lot of confidence. And here we are with all the other manuals. Now, what's nice as well, we got service stamps, but we've also got corresponding invoices. So let's have a look here. I'm just going to pick out a few. That last service was £590, and it runs through some of the things that were done. I've got some old, in fact it will take me forever to run through this lot, but if that gives you a gist, and this is the local BMW garage which was doing it more recently, Harwoods of Basingstoke, and then a whole selection of invoices, you know, that much. So we'd like to think, with all that money lavished on the car, it ought to be a nice viable proposition for a high mileage car for the future, because it drives ever so well actually. It's still got loads of life in it, and if you have a job which involves going up and down the motorway to work, you'd be hard pressed to find a nicer car to go up and down the motorway in. This is a sweet engine, and having a manual gearbox is such a bonus. In fact, the whole rear wheel drive large engine with a manual gearbox feeling, they used to call these the ultimate driving machine as a part of their marketing, and you know, they really were. I mean, they introduced a lot of advantages to the suspension. The E39 was a real epic car, and it was a beautiful motorway cruiser, but you could also drive it quite subtly as well. Huge amount of space. I mean, literally the car has come in, this is our part exchange. It's sensibly priced to allow someone to take it on and do with it what they will, drive it absolutely as is, or perhaps they will want to improve upon it, because it's the colour to have, of course. And with those wonderful M-Tech wheels, that looks pretty super. Now, I'm not a BMW expert by any stretch of the imagination, but having had a quick look at the logbook, in regards to the model itself, I'm assuming it might be, let's see if it says on here. No, it doesn't actually tell me the model, but I'm kind of looking at the wheels on the car and the little lip on the back. So to me, it looks like the SE model that's got a few sporty bits on, like the spoilers and the rear spoiler and the alloy wheels. So actually the SE was always the comfortable car to drive. The M-Tech suspension was probably a bit fierce, but the SE was always the smoother car. But nevertheless, we have her in stock. She's up at a sensible price point to attract someone else to come and take her on. Hopefully the walk around video will give you a good idea of the bodywork. Let's have one final look around the car. Very striking in this colour. I think in a TLC, a wheel refurbishment, a bit of localised paintwork here and there, this car would actually scrub up to look rather lovely. So I'm aware of how much these can change hands for. I mean, we sold a low mileage, high spec E39, and yeah, they definitely have got a market. Now, there's a lot more people who are going to be interested at spending this price point rather than that. Okay, you are getting a car with 145,000 miles on, and frankly a car that does require a little TLC, but it does make it affordable. So folks, if you are interested in owning a well-priced E39 BMW 6-cylinder, a 525 SE model with some epic wheels and the best colour, we have got something in stock for you right now. Huge amounts of service history, a car that has previously been very well maintained, so hopefully at a price point that makes her tempting for you. Well, thank you for watching today's video. I do appreciate the views we get, and if you would like to know anything else about this car, please get in touch. We can arrange full UK transportation at a sensible price. We can part exchange your existing, ideally classic car, but we do more and more see modern cars coming in, even a light commercial and the occasional Land Rover, that sort of thing. But we will always do our best to facilitate a deal. Thank you for watching today's video, folks. This is Danny at Bradley James Classics, signing out.